Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your personalized reading for the week of May 30th to June 5th, 2022. This is a general reading, so feel free to take whatever resonates and leave behind for others whatever does not. To get a deeper view into your week, check out readings for your sun, moon, and rising signs. So on May 30th, there is a new moon in Gemini, which is for you, your ruling planet, Mercury, deals with communication and intellect. Because Mercury is in retrograde until June 3rd, this week provides opportunities to reflect on prior communications that may not have come across as you had intended. So we will look into those themes. In this first column over here, we look at what you should reflect on from your past. You have this sudden wealth card. You also have King of Swords, Five of Cups, Page of Wands. In this middle column, we look at how you can change things for the better. And you have this Strength card. You have Three of Swords, Six of Wands, and Five of Wands. And in this third column, we see potential outcome. You have the seventh house of relationship. You have the Emperor, Three of Pentacles, and the Hierophant. So in this area of reflecting on the past and sudden wealth, this is, to indicate some type of win, some maybe lottery winning, inheritance, perhaps some type of gift. This can also be in the form of things that are not material. Could indicate something about your luck. It also is a sense of maybe advancing in your career, some type of affluence, some type of security, a bonus of some sort, possibly from a job, hiring bonus. And if it doesn't have to do with money, it could be some other abundance. There is the Five of Cups, so perhaps there is an abundance of sadness, but you also have Page of Wands, which is about exploration, discovery, and King of Swords, which is a sense of, authority and power. So for some of you, it could be that you had a sudden sense of power given to you. Perhaps you did very well in some type of business proposal, or some type of project. Somehow you were placed in a position of power. It may be that you didn't really understand the consequences of how to wield that power, and it may have resulted in some people benefiting and some people feeling not so great about things. And we are going to go ahead and take a look at this King of Swords. you have the Nine of Swords. And that is a sense of fear, anxiety, and, you know, possibly worrying about things that are outside of your control. So let's take a look at the Five of Cups here. You have the Tower. Wow. Okay. So it seems that some type of expectation, some type of belief that may have been tied to this sudden wealth, this sense of status or power, something kind of came in and said no. And that left things in a place of grief, sadness. It also could be that whoever gave you the sudden wealth, maybe someone gave you the sudden wealth, they are the King of Swords and they took it away. So let's take a look at this Page of Wands. You have the Devil. Okay, so it's a sense of possibly feeling that there is someone else in control, that you really want to get out from underneath someone's thumb. You could have even just got like the job that you signed up for, and you know, the project that you wanted, the assignment that you wanted or needed to have, and you got it. And really, the dealing with self-doubt, trying to please people, possibly trying to figure out what other people want, that may have caused a situation to show that really you weren't as prepared for something as you thought you would be. So let's take a look at this middle column of how you can change things for the better. You have the Strength card here. Strength is really something internal. You can also get support from other people as well. Maybe it's needing a sense of knowing your boundaries, knowing what to fight for. But here it seems like there's some type of expectation you had really wasn't what it seems. And here with the Five of Wands, it seems like there's some conflict, growing pains even. This could be internal, but it also could be dealing with other people. Basically, people having different goals and desires and ideas, and they just conflict. And so each person isn't necessarily wrong. No one's necessarily right, but it's a sense of kind of figuring out what is worth pursuing, what's not worth pursuing, what goals support each other or parallel, which ones conflict, and then really having the ability to kind of step up and deal with things and kind of coming out on top. So let's take a look at these three swords in the heart. You have Five of Cups. Okay. So really, whatever this sudden wealth was, it seems to possibly even be suddenly taken away. If that sudden wealth is just like pain and upset and disappointment, well, it seems, Gemini, you have a lot of reflection on sadness. And the thing about this sadness, grief, the Five of Cups, usually they're looking at like three of the cups that are spilled and not two of the cups that are still standing. But it's not to say not to look at the cups at all. Definitely you should look at the cups, see what damage was done, assess it, see what you can do to move forward, and um, you know, how to prepare next time. So I guess with these two cards here, it's a sense of you really do need that strength and courage to look at the facts, look what expectations you had, look what how you kind of used your position to make agreements, to do certain actions, to say certain things, and where that led, and kind of just learn from that. So let's look at Five of Wands. You have King of Cups here. That's probably the best way to deal with situations when there's conflict, is come from a place where of, not taking things personally, emotionally steady, coming from a place of compassion, coming from a place of reason, and wanting the best for everybody. The best leaders are the ones that help others succeed. So here in the King of Cups, if there is some conflict, come from a place of the heart to try to understand where other people are coming from. Even make sure you understand where you're coming from. So let's take a look at Six of Wands. You have the Four of Cups. In this deck, the Four of Cups is about contemplation and meditation and being at a place of calm. So here it's basically the best way to deal with situation is to manage the emotions aspect of it. And it seems that, in your reflections, see how the emotions really were triggered. And, take a look, don't dwell, take a look, see what you can learn from it. In this outcome, you have the seventh house of relationship. And this is kind of, all dealings with other people. This is a card similar to the Lover's card, which in tarot, which is your major arcana card. So concept here is to nurture relationships. With the Three of Pentacles, it's again the concept of working with other people, possibly to highlight their skills and lift them up, but in the process, it'll also highlight your skills and lift you up, and you'll get recognition. This could be a card about how to work with people, how to rule over people even. You have the Emperor and you have the Hierophant, like in positions of power. How is it that you deal with positions of power? How do you wield your power when you are in a place of authority? When others kind of, when there's conflict, how do you deal with power? And with the Emperor, this is a card of kind of like tradition, doing things like the way they are traditionally done. Hierophant is also a sense of like tradition and ritual. The way that I see the Emperor is actually knowing how to delegate tasks as well. Knowing how to handle the resources, how to set boundaries for yourself and for others. And with a Hierophant, it is, about how to read signs, patterns. Is there something that you notice when you are, typically communicating with people? Is there a certain response that you get that should indicate or flag for you that what the person is saying isn't really what they're meaning, or there's some type of misunderstanding, and someone needs to ask for clarification type of thing. Is there a sense of not wanting to look like naive, that no one even asks questions? And that makes things even a little bit difficult. But it may also indicate here that even if someone has power over you, or in sense of an organization, institution, a relationship of any sort, that doesn't mean you have to give your power away to them. And really, when things are unbalanced, that's when certain things start to fail. Certain expectations aren't realized. And let's go ahead and clarify. I'm going to clarify this Three of Pentacles. As you have the Three of Pentacles, you have the Three of Swords. Threes are kind of concept of expanding, like, that's also when things start getting difficult to manage. There's a concept of the third party, of, if person A and person B are directly communicating, then it's easier to see when there's a miscommunication or misunderstanding. But when person A and person B are communicating through person C, or making reference to things to person C, and C is talking to B about A, that's when things start getting a little tricky. So you have the Nine of Wands. So you have the Nine of Swords over here, and then you have the Nine of Wands over here, which is a sense of a culmination of the suit. So here it's possibly getting kind of overwhelmed with thoughts, and over here it's overwhelmed with, feeling that you need to defend yourself, feeling that you need to be ready for anything all the time. Maybe having healthy boundaries would be good, in terms of knowing when to say when, and also kind of knowing how to work with others and allocate tasks and responsibilities. So let's take a look at the Emperor here. You have the Knight of Pentacles, and this is like the hardest working knight. They're reliable, they're responsible. They are basically the ones that gets things done. And I guess that's fine. I mean, being the Knight of Pentacles is to be in a place where reputation does matter. Minding your, Q's and R's and I's and T's and all those things. Basically, that is something the Knight of Pentacles really needs to kind of keep on top of. But Knight of Pentacles also is very, intentional about the next steps they're going to take, because they don't want to take a misstep, and taking on too much is a misstep. Not getting clarification about something is a misstep. Not making sure other people understand what the goal is would be a misstep to the Knight of Pentacles. So let's take a look at the Hierophant here. You have the Ten of Swords. So something along the lines of trusting someone. I'm almost thinking of this as like an HR department or something. Someone who's supposed to make things easier for you, someone who's supposed to keep your confidences, something along those lines. I would say it's basically know that your words can come back to you. Know that something that you say to someone that's supposed to be kept in confidence might not always be in confidence. And, recognize that there is a new dawn ahead. So I'm going to pull one more card for you, Gemini, because this seems like a pretty intense reading. So let's see here. Let's see. I mean, it almost kind of seems like you're going to need to recognize how to deal with things when they get too much for you, and not make it seem like you can handle things when you can't. Definitely you're strong. Doesn't mean you need to do everything. Doesn't mean that you can like bounce back from disappointment automatically. But it also means that you need to figure out how to clear your mind. If you haven't, if you have issues with anxiety, migraines, nightmares, things along those lines, perhaps consider meditation. You do have the Three of Swords and the Five of Cups and the Ten of Swords, the Nine of Swords, Nine of Wands. So if there is some type, and the Tower and the Devil, if there is some type of concerns of mental health issues, definitely talk to a qualified mental health professional, medical professional. Hierophant could also be an expert when it comes to things like that. But I'm going to go ahead and pull another card for you to kind of find out like this connection here of like if you find some inner strength here. And the outcome is that you are more aware of the inner workings of how people operate, how organizations operate, how power is used. Like what kind of, after the Ten of Swords, what kind of new dawn lies ahead? You have the Ten of Pentacles. So here it is about a legacy. It's about being able to create and maintain the type of material world that you want. So it does seem like whatever this situation here with this King of Swords, the sudden wealth, leading to this Nine of Swords situation, the Tower and the Devil, really there is some process, internal process, emotional processing that needs to take place, and having some healthy boundaries, setting up some routines where you can deal with how you think, how you can calm down, and setting up a way to clear your mind, clear any negative energy, and recognize how to communicate certain things to yourself and to others so that it doesn't come to bite you in the butt. And that's, once you kind of process all these things, then you'll be ready to kind of work on but continuing building the type of material world where you will thrive. So I'm hoping that this provides a helpful perspective of your week, and we'll see you next time. Take care.